Miren, en la próxima intervención vamos a escuchar la opinión de Larry Fink. Larry Fink es el fundador y CEO de BlackRock, que nos va a compartir su opinión sobre el capitalismo de stakeholders como este sistema para crear, para mantener a largo plazo el valor de los accionistas. También vamos a escuchar su opinión respecto a todos esos retos y oportunidades que nos vamos a encontrar o que se van a encontrar los directivos en los próximos años. Así que vamos a escucharle.
Well, thank you, Isidro, for that question. I think capitalism is a driving force for any economy today. And I think the role of capitalism is evolving. We always have looked at our shareholders as the main purpose of any company. But I believe in this uneven world and unevenness in society, capitalism needs to play even a bigger role. And that does not depreciate away from its shareholders as companies. It actually embellishes the shareholders through the concept of stakeholder capitalism. That we are focusing on our clients, our employees, and we're focusing on our communities where we work. That driving force of working with your clients, working with your employees, for your communities, can drive more durable, more sustainable profitability. And it's very clear to me that our employees are asking more from us. They're looking for more understanding of the company and its purpose. And so there is no question in our minds today that when employees are engaged, when they feel committed to the company that they work for, these companies are performing higher, at a higher pace, a higher level than the companies where they're not as engaged with their employees. Companies that are working with their clients, for their clients, are more engaged also. And I think now the concept of, as a global company that BlackRock is, and I'm sure so many of you are also are not just domestic companies, but global companies, we all have a responsibility to making sure that we are driving business and opportunities in the communities where we work. And that is reflected in so many of the great companies where they're working with the communities, trying to be a part of the communities. And in that light, they're able to drive a more durable profitability. So when I think about stakeholder capitalism, I am not here to talk about things that I think are foreign to what CEOs or business leaders do. It really is the essence of how we are working towards building a robust company, working towards driving more durable profitability. And it is time now where there's so much political pressure that we're all facing. And we have a more divided world today than ever before. We have, very extremes, especially now in the United States, between the left and the right. And it is those companies that are able to navigate with their communities, with their employees, with their clients, are able to create more sustainable and durable profitability. And so I speak about this as a capitalist and somebody who's benefited by the capitalistic system. I speak about this as somebody who's witnessed now in my almost 5 decades of working of what are the high-performing companies. And I truly believe that focus that we all have to do, working for all our stakeholders. The ultimate winner is a shareholder. And as BlackRock has one of your largest shareholders in so many things we do, this is really how we are thinking and as we evaluate all of the companies. And I truly believe as business leaders, we all have to stay even more connected, especially in this time now where we have the war in Ukraine, as we have the uncertainty of this, the problems related to energy and the energy transition, and we're living in a world right now with rising inflation. I mean, the characteristics of the world today are so farly different than they were just 2 years ago. We're trying to live in a world that we can move freely in a in a COVID world today. And thankfully, through great cooperation between business and governments, we have vaccinations, and to me that is a great example of what the power of capitalism can drive. So stakeholder capitalism, it should not be considered anything new or novel. It's just it's a recognition that we have multiple stakeholders, that we have to drive our successes for each of our stakeholders, and then we will perform well and durably over the coming years. Well, I think every company has challenges. Some years we have a lot more challenges than others, and some years we could actually enjoy the fruits of our successes a little easier. I truly believe the challenges that we're facing today are greater than any time that I'm aware of, and that is because the movement towards deglobalization, the polarization of governments and politics, living in a world where we were enjoying the benefits of a peace dividend from the demise of the Soviet Union, and we were all able to move forward and prosper through this whole process of expanding globally. And now today, we have other issues that we have to face. As I said, rising inflation today. In many countries today, we have labor shortages. In some countries, we still have very high unemployment. And so every company has different issues. Some companies are facing the threat of new technology and new innovators who are disrupting what was good. And so we all are trying to innovate. We're all trying to be relevant. We're all trying to stay current. And I think that's important. I would say the most important thing, I would say that all of us, all of you in the room, all 1,000 of you, our responsibility in building a robust culture that animates throughout the organization, a culture that animates with your clients and your employees, that creates that connectiveness. And I think the great companies that really work towards building a cohesive culture that can connect your employees and your employees can relate to that culture, and they feel that they want to work for a company, that they believe in that purpose. I think that is probably the most prominent responsibility today for any CEO. And in a time now where in most markets where we have labor shortages, it is even more important for all of the leaderships of companies to be focusing on building that community, that culture, that bindingness. I will say, in the evolution of BlackRock, when we started with 8 people in one office 33 years ago, to where we are now in over 40 countries, our job is to even now create that connectiveness through culture in every country, in every office, with every employee. And I think that's the real responsibility of any business leader, is creating that binding culture that animates, that people relate to, that your employees can feel committed and connected to. And if your employees all believe in your company, it is easier for your clients to understand your company. And so I could still, as large as we are today, I still spend 30+% at BlackRock on culture. I think it's probably the responsibility of a CEO or chairman of any company to build that connectiveness. Obviously strategy, obviously staying current, to try to be relevant, to try to use technology as an opportunity, not as something to be frightened of. But I do believe all our roles and responsibilities are changing. We have to be relevant. We have to stay current. I would say our responsibilities as a CEO is to stay in front of the needs of your clients. And so your clients are coming to you more than they're coming to some of your competitors, because you're offering that type of services, that type of product, that type of advice. And so The one thing that I can say with total clarity, to be a CEO and to be in top of your game, it means that we have to be students every day. We have to learn and stay in front of the needs of clients. You have to be the main person who is bringing the entire organization together and moving it forward, to stay in front of the needs of clients and staying in front of the needs of communities where you work. And those are the successful organizations. That's the fun of it, and that's the challenge of this, though. The fun of it is staying current and staying active, being relevant, being connective. The challenge is that's a big task. And I would just say, for all CEOs, I don't believe we have a moderator to go up and down, and we have an on/off button or an on/off button. If you're going to be a leader of your company, your responsibility is to be fully on. You can't just be half on or 3/4 on. And I do believe when your team, your leadership team, and the employees see how connected, how driven the leadership is, then they follow the same patterns. And so our job is to be that leader. Our job is to show that reference point that every employee can connect with. Our job is to be that leader of messaging so your clients feel connective and understanding what you relate to. And so to me, this is the exhilarating part of leading of a company, but it's not without a lot of challenges and a lot of disappointments at times, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. And I'm sure all of you in the audience would never trade that opportunity that you have in leading your own company.